and 1080, The Fan.
Thank you for playing this, Jordan. I needed some West Coast in my life right now because the TV has been so pro New York, and it's getting really frustrating.
West Coast is the best coast, and everyone always acts like New York is the center of the world.
It ain't.
Not just the country, but the world.
Listen, man, I love New York as a place, right? There's, people always talk about there's a certain energy in New York, and they're right. Like, there's a buzz about the town all the time. Even when the Knicks are trash, the Giants are trash, or the Rangers are trash, or the Yankees are trash.
Yeah, it's everybody shouting F off at each other.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the buzz.
So everybody's just so angry in New York, and I've never understood why. Like, what are you so mad about? You have everything here for the most part.
Yeah, I thought it was the greatest city
outside
in
of
the
grass
world.
and trees and other things that that people tend to like. Rivers and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a river in New York. Yeah, a couple rivers.
Yeah, the Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson. Boom.
Like that literally.
I'm sure people like to go scuba diving in there. I mean,
I don't think they allow that.
Yeah, because you'll probably die. In the Hudson, it's probably
Talk
disgusting.
about the dirty Willamette.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Hudson's like, but it's got to be way worse.
But there has been an overwhelming amount of support for the New York Knicks. In fact, there is an average of 17 million viewers a night for these NBA finals. Now, I don't know if this is a record. I don't know what the record is, but I do know these weren't the ratings last year. And so you have the New York Knickerbockers in the NBA finals and everybody coming into game one. I think most people here on the West Coast, especially Blazer fans, were kind of like San Antonio is going to win the championship. They just beat OKC, and the games they won against OKC, they looked like they did it pretty well. I think they're going to beat them. They're clearly OKC is the deepest team in the league, right? They can throw the most at you. Even with the hurt Jalen Williams, they can still do more than 29 other teams in the league. Like, this is what we kind of know about OKC. Game one happens. Wembanyama's pretty good in game one, but they don't get the win. Game one goes to Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. Brunson was trashed through 3.5 quarters of game one, and then turned on the Jets at the end of the game and just couldn't miss a shot. There's a reason this guy is up for and I didn't even know this is an award until I start playing 2K, the Kia Clutch Performer award. Like, if he hasn't won it, he's been the top 3 every year, because when it comes down to the last couple minutes of any game, Jalen Brunson's just he's damn near unstoppable. And here's one thing we don't talk about enough. He's a lefty. And so I think most defenders, kind of mindset is telling you, like, hey, go right. He's going to go right and everything. And then you got a guy beating you left every single time, shooting left. There's not much you can do about that, and especially somebody that can get to his spots. He's impressed me a lot in this series because I've always said, and I said it on the show, I think last week, I don't like the way Jalen Brunson plays sometimes. I can't stand it. I hate the flopping. He's very much got some Shea in him as far as the flopping, the falling, the creating contact and flailing like he got, knocked out or whatever the case is. I don't like that. He's been getting some tough buckets in this series. Yesterday, he didn't shoot well. He did not shoot the ball well, but it didn't matter. Cat yesterday was, 8 for 13 from the floor. Cat had a bunch of boards. Cat did everything he could to keep his team in there. 13 rebounds, 4 assists, only a couple turnovers, a steal, a block, 3 offensive boards. It's time that we really, and I hate this saying, but put some respect on Karl Anthony Towns' name.
Really good defense on Wemby.
Great
too.
defense.
You can't, because the box score doesn't show that. Go look at the highlights. Man.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing Cat is doing is he's pushing Wemby out of his spots, right? You know, I mean, he's big enough and he's strong enough to where he can kind of give him, push him away from the paint. So you see Wemby's not getting a bunch of buckets because he's not just turning around. They're not giving him that lob. He doesn't have that little turnaround. He's not having that little 10, 12-foot jumper and everying. Like,
no,
he's having to really work for
away.
it.
Yeah.
He's having to work for it because Cat is, I'm going to say tougher than Chet. A little bit tougher than Chet.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, we don't really give him that distinction because after all that and after all the things Cat does and says, we kind of label him as soft. It's unfair, but that's what, collectively, we've all said Karl Anthony Towns is Charmin soft. He don't have it. And right now, he's punking the hell out of the Defensive Player of the Year. And I think he's truly in Wemby's head right now because for 2 games, Wemby just looks rattled. Like, he was played much better in the second half yesterday, but he had, 4 attempts in the first half? He was 2 for 4 in the first half of basketball? That can't happen when you're 7'9". That's insane to me.
This game, as far as game 2 goes, I kind of thought it showed, as opposed to game 1, which was, I would say, a sock fest back and forth. Like, they just kind of kept throwing punches at each other until the fourth quarter. And then at the end, it didn't really seem like San Antonio really gave up much, but New York ended up winning by 10, and it just was like, okay, they, at that moment, were the ones that kind of went on the run and finished it off there. If the game were a little longer in game 1, I thought that, maybe the Spurs would have had a shot at that. It really was just a back-and-forth effort. Last night, the Knicks kind of showed, I feel like, a little bit more of the team that they can be. And now a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals on the road, brother. That we haven't talked about how insurmountable that is. I don't even need to go down the historical statistics. Like, that's just a hard thing to do. And for a team that wasn't expected to be here in the first place in the Knicks, who really, you look at the roster, man, they aren't that deep. It's pretty impressive that they are where they are and they played like they did last night. Yes, it was only a 1-point win, but that's because San Antonio kind of came back near the end. But really, New York had it in hand, and I got to give credit to those guys. We talked about last year in the NBA Finals, one of the reasons Indiana was able to get so far was because of their bench play. One of the reasons the Celtics looked so good was because of their bench play. We've known that the Spurs have a lot of guys. I mean, from Champagnie, whether or not you want to start him, all the way down to the rookies, and then guys like Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant, Luke Cornett when Wemby's out. Like, they've got a cast of characters that can step in whenever needed, and that was kind of, I would say, mirroring what those teams did in the finals last year and why it made those games so exciting. But that's not quite the story this year, man. The Knicks have no bench, in my opinion. These guys like Landry Shamet, he's had a good playoff so far, but like guys like Mitchell Robinson and Miles McBride, those aren't everyday names. Robinson's been a Knick for a long time, but I think the key here was the offseason trade for Michael Bridges. That was kind of crazy.
It's paying
at the
off
time.
now.
Well, no
it's
kidding.
Paying off now.
If you want to give up the future, which what did they trade? 4 or 5 future first-round picks, a couple of seconds,
and another person that played on that college
Bogdanovich.
team.
Like, yeah, there were guys in the rotation that they moved on from, which is a reason they might be a little.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, exactly. Dante DiVincenzo, who was a really great scorer for you last year, is now gone. Essentially, those shots now are going to Michael Bridges, and I would say OG Anunoby's shooting a lot more too. You saw his name, a lot of threes for him. And to put some respect, like you said, on Karl Anthony Towns' name and talk about just, I would say, a maximum effort and the best kind of performance that you could have from those players. And that's, like I said, what's needed for the Knicks to win this series. That is what they're doing so far. When Cat in Minnesota had a couple of seasons where you were questioning his rebounding ability, now showing up and, had a great season last year for New York, but didn't show up in some people's minds in the playoffs. But frankly, bodying one of the best young centers in the NBA around, I think it still shows you that, strength inside can work in the NBA. It doesn't always have to be three-pointers. I think just straight up, if you are more experienced and you are a more involved, if you are involved in every rebound or at least giving that effort, you can succeed. And I think that's why we were frustrated with Cat before, because we knew that he had the strength to do this and he maybe just wasn't giving that effort. Now we see him doing that every night, at least in these playoffs, and frankly through the regular season too, at least this season. And those defensive plays on Wemby, he only had one block, man, but he affected so many of Victor Wembanyama's shots, and that was the problem that we had seen throughout the playoffs. Nobody was really getting in his way, and the Knicks finally stepped up and threw somebody out there to do it. And even with Josh Hart not scoring any points from the field, the Knicks still are able to get it done. I always think Josh Hart's going to be the X factor, but I got to say I'm impressed. But if they lay off at all, Rashad, if one of these guys has a bad night, it could go south for New York. But at this point, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen. And you hit the nail right on the head, man. You talk about experience. Now, while the Knicks haven't been to the finals, this is their first time as a collective to be in the NBA Finals. They've been in the conference finals the last 2 years.
Yes, sir.
They were in the semifinal the years before that. And remember, they got knocked out by the Pacers, in the conference final 2 years ago, I think it was. In between there, they got knocked off by the Heat, before that. So the Knicks have been building to this moment.
Oh, credit to Mike Brown, by the way. They fired Tibbs and brought Mike Brown in, and I think that's the
Mike Brown has
special sauce. That
been one of those guys that, unfortunately, he coached LeBron. So because you coach LeBron, people are going to instantly assume that you aren't as good a coach as you should be. But look at the job that he did in Sacramento before he was fired there. He probably shouldn't have been fired from Sacramento for Doug Christie. I think that was a bad idea,
weird.
In between there. But Mike Brown is somebody who understands how to coach an offense. And when you have a LeBron James, obviously it makes your offense, especially a prime LeBron James, makes your offense a little bit easier to run. But Mike Brown, this offense that he has going for them, Tibbs never had the ball moving like that. Defensively, they were good. But defensively, they're pretty damn good under Mike Brown, too. And offensively, he's got them winning. They've won their 12th game. I saw a stat. They haven't lost in 38 days.
Something their 12th straight playoff game.
Yeah, 12 straight playoff games. So they have an opportunity to do what that 2001 Lakers squad couldn't do, which is completely run the board in the playoffs. Steph Curry couldn't do it. Kobe didn't do it. Jordan didn't do it. So this is the time for Jalen Brunson and the Knicks to really take advantage. So let's keep talking more about this, man. Game 3 coming up in the quote-unquote Mecca, Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are at home. It's going to be crazy.
No Charles Oakley, by the way.
No Charles Oakley. Will not be there. So because Charles Oakley won't be there, what exactly does this Spurs team need to do to win this game and get back on the winning track? We'll talk about that next. But first, Jordan has sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the New York Knickerbockers taking a 2-0 series lead in the NBA Finals thanks to a Game 2 win in San Antonio against the Spurs last night, 105-104 the final. Karl Anthony Towns leading Knicks scorers with 21 points at a double-double with 13 fours. Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges added 20 apiece. Victor Wembanyama had a nice night for the Spurs, 29 points, but unable to move the needle. Back at it on Monday night in New York at Madison Square Garden for Game 3. Right now, the Knicks are minus 500 favorites to win the NBA Finals. Over to the Diamond, the Mariners struggling last night in the city of Detroit against the Tigers, losing 7-3. It's their second loss in a row. They'll be back at it actually with some morning baseball action here in about 40 minutes. It's a 10-10 first pitch on Mariners TV. They got Montero v. Miller on the bump, and no piggyback today. They're going with a 6-man rotation, so Miller's going to be able to actually have a start. And then they've got Castillo coming up, I believe, tomorrow. And then over to the course, it's the Memorial Tournament happening right now. JJ Potson, your leader at 9 under. He gets going along with second place golfer Ryan Gerard at 8 under at 12:20 this afternoon. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan.
Spurs are in some deep doo-doo right now, man. Like, we talked a little earlier about bringing up the stats as far as teams that are down 2-0 and their likelihood of actually winning the NBA championship.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking, and I'm sure I'm wrong because I often am, but as I'm thinking, I'm the Heat are the last team that I can remember that went down 0-2 and then came back and won 4
And they went down 0-3, didn't they?
I think it was 2.
Okay.
And then they shot a crazy amount of free throws, and I remember Mark Cuban wanting to launch an investigation and all type of stuff because Dirk.
This is the Heat back in the 2000s.
Yeah, the Heat, the 2000.
Not the recent
was it
one.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2006 or something like that. So when the Heat won, I remember Dirk was just absolutely on fire for 2 games, and then this weird phantom foul came on D Wade, and then from there they just shot free throws every single time D Wade got breathed on. I could be wrong. I can't remember another 0-2 team starting down 0-2 and then coming back to win.
That is one of 5 instances it has happened in the NBA. The 2006 Miami Heat trailed 2-0 and then came back to win 4-2 in the NBA Finals. Last time it happened was the Milwaukee Bucks
for
their title. They were down 2-0 to the Suns, came back and won 4-2 in that one.
We had already crowned Chris Paul. It's like, okay, you deserve your championship, Chris Paul. Go get it.
He was literally the ring sizing was already happening, and he was he maybe wasn't celebrating it, but the media was celebrating it for him for sure. 2016 Cleveland, they were down 3-1, came back to win against the Golden State Warriors, only team ever to come back from a 3-1 deficit and win the NBA Finals. Your 1977 Portland Trail Blazers, of course, if you know anything about the NBA Finals here, that happened once, 1977.
That one time.
Yeah, that one time. They were down 0-2. I'm just kidding. They were in the 70s. They were there once, and then they were there a couple of times against the Bulls, right, in the 90s?
The Bulls and the Pistons.
Yeah, exactly. And then the successful run in the finals for the Portland Trail Blazers, they ran 4 straight wins against Dr. J and the 76ers to come back and win it. So, pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
they
then
couldn't stop Maurice Lucas in that series, man.
Darn tootin'. 69 Celtics, the other team as well that has done that. Trailed 0-2 and then came back to win against the Lakers 4-3. So it has only happened 5 times. And
only really twice over the last 20 years.
Yeah, and I don't want to go back and look at all of those different game 2s where the team went down 2-0, but I don't think every single one of those was on a missed shot, that could have won the game for the team that went down 0-2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a pretty crazy situation. They drew up a good play last night for Victor Wembanyama at the buzzer. He just was forced into, as we were talking about the last segment, Rashad, fading away, not comfortable as he could be, still had good stats, but a lot of turnovers, and just as a young player, it just didn't seem like, especially in those clutch moments, he was completely as comfortable as he should have been.
Which is insane. Why are you fading away?
Because
you're 7'6".
Because you're getting pushed all night.
You're literally hands, head and shoulders above everybody else. You bringing the ball to the top of your head. There's nobody. Cat's not blocking that.
No, but he's conditioned him into backing up all night. That's
Wemby's
kind of the body that we were talking about.
Wemby's biggest issue that I've always kind of had with him is he wants to be Kevin Durant so bad. He wants to be a guy that handles the rock, does a couple spin moves, something like that, and then pulls up for 3. That's who he wants to be. That's if you ask him coming up who his guys were, it was Dirk, it was KD, it was these long, almost 7-foot guards that you had that can shoot and stuff like that can move like that. Wembanyama should be back to the basket every time, drawing a double and kicking out. That's the play. I don't know why we're trying to oversimplify things or make things complicated for that matter by doing all the extra. So I think the first thing they need to do is establish Wemby deeper in the paint. Stop letting him make plays at the 3-point line. Now, can he shoot? Sure. He's taller than everybody, so he's going to be able to get his shot off. But is that where you want to live? With him shooting fadeaway jumpers? That's going to win you a championship? No. Do what you did against the Blazers. Take advantage of the middle.
Yeah.
Do what you did against OKC and take advantage of the middle. The games that Wembanyama is aggressive and starts the game with at least 14, 15 attempts, within the first half, they typically win, right? But when he's passive and he's trying to get other guys involved and everything, that's when he's taking 4 shots in the first half. You're not going to win a whole lot of games that way. So the first thing they need to do is figure out how to stop Wemby from being neutralized. New York has done a great job of kind of shutting that down, bumping him on rolls and forcing him into really lower efficiency perimeter looks, which is crazy if you're 7'9". Man, I think you got to get De'Aaron Fox to really make more plays at the top of the key. more pick and rolls, which we haven't seen a whole lot from Wemby, right? How many times have we seen that lob even go up for him?
Yeah, I was wondering why they maybe wouldn't at the end of a game call a lob like that. You're talking about his height. And it's like, yes, he is literally the biggest guy in the league, so
high
just
pick and
throw it
roll,
up higher than everybody.
Yeah, high pick and roll. If two guys go with him, somebody's going to be open on the perimeter. That's a good chance for Champagnie, who didn't have a great game. Where's Carter Bryant? If I'm Mitch Johnson, like, Carter Bryant needs to be in the game as much as possible. Why? Because the Knicks are going 9 deep. You're not. And you're taking out a guy that was a big part of you getting to the NBA Finals. And now all of a sudden, game 1, Carter Bryant, 4 minutes. Game 2, Carter Bryant, 3 minutes. Explain that. All of a sudden, a rookie who's been in there, giving you big minutes, knocking down big shots for you, getting you really to this point, and now all of a sudden, you don't use him, which is crazy. So Mitch Johnson has some questions to answer there. There's too many late game mental errors for the Spurs team. The fourth quarter in game 1, allowing New York to come back the way they did, and they weren't able to really capitalize on any point. Mental errors. Last night, Wembanyama, we haven't talked about this, cost his team the game.
He did.
Wembanyama cost his team the game. That late pass to Vassell, which, to Castle.
I think it was Castle, yeah.
Why are you passing to Castle? He's been a turnover machine the entire playoffs. He didn't give you a great game last night.
He wasn't even ready for the ball yet, really.
He wasn't. And at what point, with 10 seconds left, 15 seconds left, are you not looking at the ball? What? And this is, again, we talked about experience. This is a team who's never been in the playoffs before as a collective. This San Antonio Spurs team that we know now, they've never been in the playoffs together. They've got 2 guys on this team that truly, truly have playoff experience, one of which is Harrison Barnes, who isn't playing a whole bunch, but he's playing enough. And the other one is De'Aaron Fox. That's pretty much it. That's what you're leaning on. So I think there's just been too many late errors for this San Antonio team, and this veteran Knicks team is taking advantage of it all. So how do you fix that? The Spurs need a defensive late game kind of hierarchy or something like that. Like when plays break down, Fox or Wembanyama, they have to orchestrate some type of half court set. They have to have something to go to instead of just rushing passes and trying to get rid of the ball, because the Knicks are playing some damn good defense right now.
Yeah, a couple late game mistakes, like specifically that pass by Wemby obviously killed it for him. It's just like, yo, young kids, stop turning the ball over. It's the same reason that Blazers fans are upset every time Scoot Henderson has a good run, and then gets out on the court and he'll just toss the ball over, to whoever's on the bench. And it's like, where were you throwing this? And that's kind of what it looked like last night for Victor Wembanyama. He's in the NBA Finals. Maybe he had a brain fart, but it's just been, as we've said, not necessarily ready for the moment, but he's a young kid. He'll get there, but this is still all new for him.
Just had to throw shade at Scoot, didn't you?
Well,
just had to throw shade at the homie Scoot, huh?
I'm trying to compare like the frustration, and frankly, to somebody that I never thought would actually do that, but look at this, under the brightest spotlight, like, it ain't easy. He makes it look easy sometimes.
It's not. So. And I will say this. I think the Spurs are doing a great job of forcing Jalen Brunson into some bad shots. A great job. He's not getting those easy pull-ups. If he's making shots, it's because he's working his ass off to get those shots up.
I don't know. I thought the fourth quarter was a little too easy for him last night.
I mean, that's what he does, right? But if I can, where Jalen Brunson, is dangerous. If when he does that to you for 4 quarters, you have no chance.
I get it, but at that point, just double team him or something.
Yeah, they're trying to, but guess what? My last point, they got to figure out a way to contain Karl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta, you're not gonna win if he's going off for 20 and 10. If that's what he's doing, if he's beating you at the rim, Jalen Brunson, he's 7 for 25 last night. Not great, but it was Cat and Mikal Bridges who really feasted off of a really kind of balanced New York offense. They did their job in shutting down Jalen Brunson, but it did not matter because Cat made 3-pointers. Cat made tough shots inside. Cat got big rebounds. He was everywhere. He was the best player on the floor last night for either team. I know Wemby's numbers, as far as the points say otherwise, but Cat, top to bottom, was that guy. Julian Champagnie and the rest of those forwards and the rest of those perimeter players, they gotta be better defensively. They gotta be better on the defensive glass. Josh Hart, who didn't score but can still be a huge impact player for you. And he gave them a lot of momentum there, and he was getting boards and doing all the little things. Didn't give you some points, but got you boards and got you some steals and got you some other stuff. The Spurs have to figure out who that guy is and who those guys are if they're going to combat anything the Knicks are doing. So let's go ahead and wrap up this conversation, and we'll do some Game 3 predictions. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Great. We'll do that next right here. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
This is the Fire Minute.
Game 3, Monday night, June 8th, 5:30 p.m. at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. You talk about a place that's going to be on fire. It's going to be crazy.
All
out
the
there
stars.
In the garden. Everybody's going to show up. You know, even the quasi-stars are going to be there. Man, I'll be honest. I don't have a problem with the New York Knicks players. I don't. I'm not crazy about the way Jalen Brunson plays some time. But for the most part, I don't have a problem with the Knicks players. I think I've never really had a problem with the Knicks players. In fact, some Knicks players have been among my favorite players of all time, a la Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith, who, if you go back and look at J.R. Smith's highlight package, it's up there with some of the best NBA talent of all time. Like, you look at his highlight package, it's pretty damn elite. I hate Knicks fans. Right? I don't hate the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate Eagles fans.
Yeah.
It's not them. I don't love the Lakers. I'll take that back. I was about to say Kobe was my guy. But other than that, I don't like the Lakers or their fans. It's probably the one team, Seahawks fans. Sorry guys, no offense. Well, kind of. Seahawks fans are a little annoying. But other than that, there's no fan bases that I just can't stand. New York Knicks are insufferable. Did you see? So last year when they thought they were going to the finals, they were throwing garbage on a Pacers fan who was walking by, and everybody's throwing like bags of garbage and cans of garbage at him. It was the craziest thing. Did you see that scene, Jordan?
Yeah.
Fast forward a year, the Knicks are actually in the finals, and they're throwing beer on some dude in a Wemby jersey. minding his business,
kind of tired of that
leaving the
crap.
game, stuff like that. Like, that's why I don't want New York to win.
I see that stuff like at Dodger Stadium too. Like, remember they were throwing stuff in the bullpen during the playoffs last year? It's like, what are you doing?
What's wrong with y'all? Like, why would you do that? Because I guarantee most of y'all one-on-one can't fight if it's doing that. So you got to harass some guy just that wanted to just maybe he might be from San Antonio, right? And he moved to New York for a job, and you're on. This is what we're doing. So there's a reason I hate the Knicks, and it's not because of the Knicks. It's more than anything because of their fans and because really the way the media has covered them forever. Like, you would think that the Knicks have been in the finals for the last 20 years, the way that they're covered by the NBA.
Because of that, their fans think they should be, and I think that's kind of why they have that.
There's
air
that
of
New York
superiority,
entitlement, man, which I'm not, which I don't love, and it could just be hate because I'm from a small place like Portland. More than likely, that's what it is.
Do you remember that fan? I think it was like 2 or 3 seasons ago, probably after that first Eastern Conference Finals exit. He sold his fandom for like $3,500.
Yeah.
Got on Twitter the other day and saw him. I think news outlet or two reached out and asked him how he's feeling now, and dude, you look like a total idiot. Like, ride or die with your team. One thing about sports fandom, like, listen, the beautiful thing about sports, Rashad, is it's the greatest reality show on television.
100%.
There's 100,000 storylines that you could get behind. There's 1,000 reasons why fans want to watch sports and want to watch their teams, right? Me in particular, I watch sports to watch my team win, to root for my team to win a championship. If you don't, I get it, that's fine. Like, but Knicks fans, I feel like even when they've got 30-win seasons going, they are locked into that, like, my team must win mentality. And at some point for that year, you got to give it up. And it's not like the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau, they got there almost, but like there were missing pieces, and they didn't think there were missing pieces. Everybody was pissed about that Bridges trade. Exactly. Yeah. So just situations where fans just kind of get high and mighty and then end up looking like butt faces after they sell their fandom to another, like, whatever. I don't even understand. Like, did in this sale he now can't attend any Knicks games in person? Like, what are people?
Is there a sign on the door at MSG that says, like, "Don't allow this guy in"?
Yeah,
like,
no.
I don't think it's anything like that.
No pictures of this guy. No, this guy allowed or whatever.
And really,
he
just
dumb.
made $3,500, for nothing. I'm not giving up my fandom for the Blazers. I might say that, but if you're going to offer me some money to do it, I'll say, hell yeah, I ain't gonna go to the Blazers
don't
game.
Matter, though, obviously,
this is going to play for my season tickets. Man.
So I'm just trying to bring up that the air of superiority from these fans is ridiculous. They act like they should be there every single year, and I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of the Blazers had to deal with it for years with Damian Lillard, Rashad, and the Mariners have to deal with it all the time. Well, not until recently now because they're in the playoffs, but every single smaller market team stars get poached by the media before it's actually happened and put in Los Angeles.
Giannis is already on his way to New York.
So tired of this.
So this is what it is. But it is New York, and they're going to sweat themselves, and the media is going to sweat them, and so, hey, here we are. This time, they actually deserve to be in the finals. This Knicks team is on an incredible 13-game postseason winning streak. They've won their home playoff games by an average of 18 points. So they're not just winning by 2 or 3 buckets. They are completely blowing teams out of the water. And for this young Spurs team, that's going to be a huge hurdle. That crowd at MSG, who they were in full effect in San Antonio. Not sure if you watched the game or you could really hear it, but those Knicks fans were absolutely in attendance in San Antonio. We're making it known that they were there. Wembanyama has to play great for 48 minutes. Has to be great for 48 minutes. Not for half the game, not for 24. For all 48 that he's in the game, he's going to need to be great. If this team has, and I know that's a lot of pressure to put on this 22-year-old, but it's pressure that Wembanyama wants. He wants to be that guy. So here you go. Now's your chance. You can go on the road, get a win, get a couple wins, whatever you need to do. You still have a chance. I think it's over, personally. But, hey, you still kind of have a chance, man. Jalen Brunson, I assume he'll be much better at home than he's been on the road these first 2 games. But I think that crowd is going to be obviously firmly behind him, but he's had 2 back-to-back kind of crap games. I assume this is going to be the game that Jalen Brunson kind of bounces back, and he's great for all 4 quarters.
I don't think it's quite over yet. I think that the Knicks are good. They're playing the best basketball that they have all season at the right time, but they just aren't deep enough. And I'm wondering if they're going to have a game or two where they stumble. And if the Spurs, at least in these NBA Finals, can have a game where all those pieces are coming together, where Champagnie can come in and, throw you 20 and hit a couple of clutch threes, and De'Aaron Fox kind of rebounds like he did last night in Game 2, have a really good shooting night again. Wembanyama's not making dumb mistakes. Like, look out. This series can get tied really quick, even in New York, Rashad.
Yeah, that's that's very true. This thing could go swing the way of San Antonio if they do everything the right way. I just personally right now, I just think there's too many things working against the Spurs. That crowd is going to be a huge, again, hurdle for them. Cat is, so far, he's the best player on the team right now for this Spurs squad. They haven't figured out a way to kind of stop him yet. And they're a 2.5-point favorite are the New York Knicks, and ESPN analytics give the Knicks a 58.2% chance to win this game. So most people think the Knicks are going to win this game. I guess I have to side with them. I think I've seen too much at this point. The Knicks have been the best team in the playoffs from start to finish, and usually the best defensive team wins the championship. Right now, there's nobody playing better defense than the Knicks. I've got the Knicks winning, so more than likely the next time that we see each other on this show, we will have crowned the new NBA champion more than likely, and that should be the New York Knicks. Don't love saying that, but hey, it is what it is, bro. So, yeah, NBA Finals, man. Game 3 starts Monday, 5:30. Knicks Spurs. Jordy, you got the Spurs?
No, I'll say Knicks in 7. All right, but I don't think it's over yet.
Okay.
I don't think it's over.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. All right, I'm saying Knicks in 4. I think they got too much. I think they might be in this young team's head, and without that experience, that could be a problem. So, hopefully we see another great game on Monday, and we'll be crowning our 8th new NBA champion, 7th new NBA champion.
What do you mean new?
No, I mean there hasn't been a back-to-back champion.
Oh, I got
since the 17-18 Warriors.
That's great.
But after that, there's been a new team that's won every single year. Will that be the Knicks this year? I guess we'll find out Monday at 5:30 on ABC. So, all right, man. Let's switch it over to football. What do you think?
Big
Get
trade
some football?
in the NFL.
Huge trade in the NFL. Is going to impact a lot of people right here in the Northwest. We'll talk about it when we come back right here. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
A family office is a team built.
10:04 Saturday morning right here on Sports Saturday. It's a normal Portland day outside, right? There's a little rain coming down. So, it kind of lets you know what kind of day it's going to be here in the Northwest. So luckily you're here with us. Myself, Jordan Schultz, the Schultzian Shot edition of Sports Saturday. Joe is fishing for shark. So
Baby
hopefully,
shark, do.
So hopefully he has a great time, when he does that.
Is he really fishing for shark? That'd be awesome.
I mean, knowing Joe, probably. Joe just doesn't do like regular things.
Yeah.
It's always got to be some extra. Joe's kind of a diva. If you didn't know that. I'm sure a lot of our listeners don't know that. You might have been able to figure it out by now, but
maybe a little bit.
Of the three of us, Joe is definitely the diva of the three. So it wouldn't shock me if he went like fishing for humpback whale or something. That seems right up his alley as far as weekend things for him.
Yeah, then go off to the beautiful like little ocean villa that they've got.
Yeah, seriously, somewhere. Oh, just some buddies and my girlfriend, and we went to have this nice yacht that we hung out on for the rest.
$1 million property here on the coast. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we spoke about it a little earlier. There was a huge deal that happened in the NFL on June 1st, 2026. And it was really a blockbuster trade in sending the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, to Jordan's Los Angeles Rams.
Woo.
Initially, so as a fan, let's just start there.
Yeah.
As a fan, because something happened to my team this week too.
Yeah.
Not as big as the news you got.
The depoy moving.
Yeah, but tell me as a Rams fan your initial reaction to getting the best defensive player the NFL's had over the last 3 years.
Well, initially I just saw the trade itself without the pieces on the move. And so like, oh my God, Myles Garrett, like to that defense, which is already stacked. Like, I don't care that they've had to give up picks for this. This is awesome. Then probably 30 minutes later, I think Adam Schefter was the one that tweeted out that it was Jared Verse that was going to be the player on the move, which of course
wait a minute.
is the Rams' best player on defense. The, kind of, I would say, replacement for Aaron Donald on the defensive end for them. Yes, they've had other guys step up too, but like Jared Verse is their main guy. So a little shocked. But overall, man, 25-year-old, in his prime versus a 30-year-old defensive player of the year. I guess it really can go two ways. Myles Garrett could get you to the Super Bowl, then nobody's questioning, you as Les Snead, once again saying F them picks, and pulling off a big trade. He's done this multiple times. This is his MO, right? Jalen Ramsey, they did the same thing. They did the same thing with Matthew Stafford. They brought Von Miller over. Like, they operate in a certain way, and it's bringing these star players in with the assets that they have. Maybe at the behest of guys like Jared Verse. I mean, obviously Verse wasn't happy to go. I'm not sure Rams fans were initially happy to see that. I think I saw reports on Twitter about Verse contacting Max Crosby, trying to figure out what the Ravens did to get out of the deal for edge rusher Max Crosby, so he had to be sent back to the Raiders. I don't think that's going to transpire now, but obviously some hurt feelings are here. But guess what, man? This is a business, and the Rams had an opportunity. Guys, if you look at this on paper, Myles Garrett is an upgrade over Jared Verse.
Yes.
And those other picks, what is next year's first-round pick that they gave up going to be? Like a 20-something? Who cares? Then a second and a third-round pick the 2 years after that? Who cares? I love this move. Kind of sad about losing Verse, but not that sad overall. You're talking about my fan reaction. That's really where I'm at.
I mean, even as a fan, like, we're kind of going through this right now as Blazer fans with, potentially, and I'm knocking on wood here because as time is progressing, I don't know if it's going to happen, but the Giannis thing, right? What are you really willing to give up for a player like Giannis, somebody who moves the needle defensively, offensively? What are you really willing to give up? Are you willing to give up your future for an opportunity to compete? Here's a situation with the Rams to where you were a few plays away potentially from going to the Super Bowl. Right, I think really it's just a play away from going to the Super Bowl against the Seahawks in that NFC Championship. You had the MVP this year and a deserving Matthew Stafford. You have a pretty good offensive line. You've got the tools to work with offensively. You have a good defense. Getting a player like Myles Garrett makes you a great defense off top. As much as I like Jared Verse, he ain't no damn Myles Garrett. Not yet, at least. And has only been in the league for a couple of years. Within his first couple of years, Defensive Rookie of the Year, check. 2 Pro Bowls. Now, the Pro Bowl selections aren't what they used to be. There used to be a time where being selected to the Pro Bowl meant something, right? Now it's like, and now it doesn't mean anything. Like,
nope.
I don't even think there's a game that they play anymore. So
it's a flag football game.
Boo. Like, don't nobody want to see professional offensive linemen and defensive linemen play flag football.
I was going to say, they get a sack by pulling a flag.
I don't care. You know what I mean? So it's let them play against the best rugby team in the world, and let's see how that works out. I would rather that. But getting Myles Garrett instantly makes you the favorite to win the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. And then you throw on the fact that they're trying to really get Aaron Donald to come out of retirement. He's been flirting with the idea of coming out. And I know he's been saying, he's got a couple kids now. Life is good for him. He's still in crazy shape. But does he really have the fire to come back and play? That's what he's really trying to figure out. Could you imagine Aaron Donald, who hasn't played in 2 years, and Myles Garrett on the same defensive line? Or even if you move Myles to the outside linebacker, which, he plays a little bit of both. So even if you just move him to that outside linebacker position, could you imagine how scary that Rams team is going to be? I don't want to.
Who do you double at that point? Myles Garrett, just even before you talk about adding Aaron Donald back to it, like, that changes schemes, for teams facing off against the Rams this year, who are already one of the best teams on defense. Like, you still have Braden Fisk. Yeah. You still got a really, they were a little exposed last year in the deep pass, but I still like their secondary. Trent McDuffie, one of the leaders in tackles for the team, if not the league. Like, I look at them and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to let in the seam. And I'm not sure I want anybody there. Like, it's just tough. And if Aaron Donald comes back, that makes that problem even harder. At that point, you just kind of have to try to throw some tricksies out there. Like, this is a defensive coordinator's dream, brother. And then add Aaron Donald to it. Like, they must be thanking
Les defensive coordinator's wet dream all of a sudden,
no kidding.
If you get that.
This is amazing. This has won them Super Bowls, too. This strategy of sacrificing the future assets for today, dude, who cares about 2030? Like, I care about February 2027. Let's go.
I'm trying to think, if Aaron Donald were to come back.
Yeah.
What's the closest thing to a defensive line that would? I'm thinking, remember, or not even defensive line, just the defense. I'm thinking those Ravens teams that had Haloti Ngata and Ray Lewis and Sizzle. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those guys, like, I'm thinking about those
Terrell
teams.
Suggs, wasn't he on that team too?
Terrell Suggs, T-Sizzle.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain people that remember that squad. I truly think, even without an Aaron Donald, now I think most Rams fan would have preferred to keep Jared Verse. I think he's going to be a stud in this league. And if you're the Browns, you come up. Like, we don't talk about that, too. If you're the Browns, man, you get a young defensive juggernaut, man, who could end up being what Myles Garrett was for you. So that's good. You know who woke up and was the most excited about this news? Joe Burrow. Woke up and was like, wait, he's gone?
Wait, I don't have
Yes. Wait, who'd they get?
I don't know, Verse. Yeah, Verse might be taking out his frustrations on guys like Joe Burrow, though.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow, he's gonna have a hell of a year getting beat up by T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith and Trey Hendrickson and Kyle Van Noy and now Jared Verse. Like, he's going to have a tough go of it this year. So good luck, Bengals fans, and good luck, Joe Burrow, to you and your soggy bones, because we don't know how well that's going to work out. So there was one other trade that happened in football, and I don't think people are talking about this one as much, and maybe not. So, but the Patriots do have a new player. We'll talk about that next. Sports Saturday, 1080 The Fan.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust a Nemu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
You know the feeling. It's 2 a.m. You're awake, running the numbers in your head. Payroll's coming. A client hasn't paid. Costs just went up. And you're thinking, how am I going to make this work? That's where LendSeek comes in.
That was me. I had payroll in 3 days and money tied up in receivables. I couldn't wait weeks for a bank. I went to LendSeek, and within minutes, I saw real funding options. They were clear, upfront, no games. By the next day, the money was in my account. Payroll went out, crisis over.
LendSeek uses AI to match your business with the right funding, up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours.
With LendSeek, it's not just funding, it's knowing you're covered when things get tight.
If you've been in business for at least 1 year with at least $500,000 annual revenue, apply today. No upfront costs, no prepaid penalties, because in business, waiting isn't an option. Start ready, stay ready with LendSeek. Apply at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Sports Saturday on the Fan Sports Network. 105.1 and 1080 The Fan.
Things just keep getting better for my Patriots. We have an amazing year.
Well, this was really good.
Make it all the way to the Super Bowl. Didn't win the Super Bowl. This is when things start going wrong. And then we find out our head coach is, man,
Kind of gross.
doing the do with a reporter.
Allegedly.
Has been doing it for a long time. Whole bunch of stuff going on, trying to figure out which way is up. And then finally, just a sliver of hope kind of slips in there as we find out that A.J. Brown has been traded to the New England Patriots for a first-round 2028 pick and a fifth-round pick in 2027. At first, I was kind of like, cool, right? You know, there wasn't like a whole lot for me to kind of go off of. I like A.J. Brown. I've never been like a staunch A.J. Brown fan. Like, oh my gosh, this guy is one of the top 5, top 10 receivers in the league. I'm not really sure where he stands. I know he can be good. I know he's been in 2 situations with quarterbacks who couldn't really get the ball to him. I think that's fair. His time in Tennessee, where Tennessee had just a litany of quarterbacks,
Mariota, Ryan Tannehill,
none of which were good.
Mariota,
none of which were good, and so that's kind of tough for a number 1 receiver. And then you go to Philadelphia, where you have Jalen Hurts, who is, I don't even see King check down because I don't even know if he does that most of the time. Jalen Hurts will just tuck and run.
Tush push.
And
Jalen
tush push. And if you are, again, an athletic number 1 wide receiver, that might piss you off a little bit. And then we kind of find out that there might have been some stuff with a woman involved with this whole A.J. Brown thing. And he found out that A.J. Brown and I think Hassan Riddick were dating the same woman, a massage therapist, who were very, very popular within NFL circles. During the 2023 season. And the cool part is Jalen Hurts knew and didn't say nothing. I knew about it. I know the homies or that my teammates are dating the same girl at the same time.
It's not your business though, right?
As my guy, as my teammate,
It's my
Yeah, it
quarterback.
kind of is. That kind of is.
Yeah, that
kinda
kind of
is, bro.
supersedes.
Like-
It's not just your buddy. It's like, we're supposed to like live and die together.
We're supposed to be brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
We're supposed to be brothers. And there's no way that Jordan, and I know you're happily married. Joe has a situation, but there's no way.
We were with the same girl,
and I could know about that.
and you're like,
And I would never tell one of you. There was a situation that happened. This is a true thing. One of my good friends, you're probably going to be mad at me telling the story. I'm going to tell it anyway.
Love it.
One of my good friends was dating this girl, and he was like absolutely head over heels. Head over heels. Like, this girl was amazing. And I know the girl. We kind of grew up together and stuff like that. So we've always had a cool relationship. And then one day, my kind of like friend, cousin calls me and was like, bro, is he messing with such and such? I'm like, yeah, that's just like a chick. And he goes, nah, you gotta, that can't be, because I've been with her for the past X amount of time.
Oh, no.
And he was like, bro, don't say nothing to him. Don't say nothing to him. And I'm telling him, I was like, man, I can't not say something. Like, how are you going to give me that and then, tell me not to say something? And at first I was like, okay, I won't say nothing. And then I was around him, I was like, yeah, bro, I can't sit here and let this be on my.
This is
and
weird.
so I told him,
Yeah.
hey man, he called me and told me that he was with her. He saw, she posted a picture of y'all and hit me and was like, oh, this is this. And so he acted on it, and he stopped talking to that girl from there.
It's good.
Right. And then from there, he went on to find a much prettier girl.
There you
and,
go.
did stuff from there and was able to, start a relationship with her. And then after that, a much prettier girl from there. So that's just kind of how that went. But as my friend, I could have never looked at this man in his face, knowing what I know, and not say something. And not even as a friend. Football players are around each other a lot for like 8 months of the year. You're talking about, you're in practice, you're in 2 days, you're training camp, you're traveling, you're doing all these things together. You have a curfew, on certain days. You're back in your room, so you're probably with your teammates and you're playing Madden, you're playing 2K, or you're gambling or whatever. Like, these teammates spend a lot of time together, whether they were close or not, whether they were best friends or not. That's something you got to do. So that was that part. Either way, it led to A.J. Brown being traded to the New England Patriots. And for me, it's a great thing, because what it just did is it took off some pressure from maybe some pass catchers that weren't ready to be number one options. Hunter Henry, maybe not ready to be a number one option yet as a tight end. Romeo Doubs, not ready to be a number one option as a receiver. Bringing in somebody like A.J. Brown, who's playing with a coach that he spent his first 3 years with, and Mike Vrabel, I think this is a good thing for this Pats team and for this offense that needed some help. And also for Philly, now you get that whole distraction. This was a weird year for a team that just came off of a championship. Now you get a chance to clear your mind of distractions. But I'll be honest, I guarantee there's a lot of people in that locker room looking at their quarterback going, this dude is weird. This dude is weak.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as obviously a diehard Patriots fan as you. I do love that the two biggest trades in the NFL this week happen to be for the teams that we both root for here on Sports Saturday.
And
we just need to get some Cowboys action going for Joe.
I was going to say, guess who wasn't in the Myles Garrett conversation? The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, I would love to hear Joe's take on that when we get back. It's like, hey, could have gotten A.J. Brown, too, from the... No, are you kidding me? I don't think the Eagles ever would do a trade with the Dallas Cowboys. Like, those are bitter rivals. But as far as A.J. Brown to New England goes, it's kind of a signal, at least to me, that, all right, we loved what we saw from Drake May last season, got the team to the Super Bowl. We're now trying to upgrade that. Drake May's ready. We need to give him the top available weapon and try to maximize our quarterback the best that we can. So... best quarterback that they've had, obviously, since Tom Brady. Dre May has no excuses. And, whatever's going on with Mike Vrabel, we can talk about that in another segment. I'm trying to focus more on the player personnel thing.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking about that. Like, it's the...
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's a non-story, but...
No, I'm not tired.
Who coaches do their thing with, I could care less about.
I'm not tired of talking about it. I just am not sure it's related to the Drake May, A.J. Brown connection. As you brought up, this is most likely A.J. Brown's best opportunity to succeed.
For sure.
As compared to Philly or Tennessee. Just not really an offense structured towards top wide receivers during his time. Maybe a season of production that he thought that he would be getting every year, but obviously some underlying frustrations from him. So they, go grab this guy, bring him in, say, okay, we admit that maybe we failed on some of our receivers already in the building, which is okay. As long as they make the move, like, I'm good with it. I'm fine on misses. What I don't like, especially, in the NFL, because it just seems like there's so many guys out there that you could bring in if there's a guy struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I just don't understand why you would keep a guy around longer that's struggling. But
No.
It doesn't seem like they...
And the Patriots are good for cutting bait with guys
exactly.
that, hey, man, this isn't working right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they hung around anybody too long. Hunter Henry's good, but he's a complimentary piece. Everybody talked about them not really having a top option at wide receiver last year, so now that solves this problem.
Yeah,
I mean, do they get back? I don't know, but it certainly makes them better than I thought. Yeah, than I already thought they were.
I will say A.J. Brown is definitely an upgrade from Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs at one point was, a solid number one receiver.
But not
in the
last
NFL.
year.
But why was he a solid number one receiver? He had a great quarterback throwing him the ball all the time. I think Drake May, for as good as he is, and he is good, there were a lot of things that went into, and I'm a Pats fan, so I can say this confidently. I think there were a lot of things that went into making Drake May as good as he was last year. And so now I'm curious to see what he does with a good receiver. It's not all good for just the Patriots. I mean, I think if you're Philadelphia, a bit of some financial relief, right? Some cap relief for you now
And
that you've let go of Brown. It kind of frees up some space to do some stuff as far as some extensions to maybe some younger players, defensive options that you really need out there, or some core pieces on the offensive end. And really, one person we don't talk about enough or at all in the NFL, Devontae Smith is now the number one option, no question, in Philadelphia. And I think for a minute it was kind of like, well, is it Devontae Smith or is it A.J. Brown? And we weren't really sure because Devontae Smith isn't a talker like that. We're not going to really hear him come out and say, man, I'm unhappy about this and the way things are going. I need things to be better. He's just going to kind of go out there and play. But now there's no question, that he will get most of the passes thrown his way, which I imagine is going to make for a much better season for him. So overall, this is a win-win, right? You got two trades in the NFL that I think truly helped both teams. A lot of times when we see trades, one team gets, obviously the advantage and the other team kind of got fleeced. This is one of those things. If you're the Browns, you just got 3 first-round picks and a great young defensive piece that you can build around, along with a Shador, whomever you want your quarterback to be in the future. I still think Shador could be a great quarterback in this league, but that's just me. And if you're the Rams, obviously you get Myles Garrett. End of conversation. That's how good that works out for you. If you're A.J. Brown, you go to a winning situation in New England all of a sudden, but you just left one in Philadelphia. And if you're Philadelphia, you get a chance to move on from this weird kind of drama that you guys have had for the last year. And now you can really focus on football.
Yeah, I think in the Patriots case, it's similar to what the Rams did. Like, they believe that with A.J. Brown, they're going to be good, so that first-round pick should be in the 20s. They're not trying to give up much here. So I think that could swing the value a little bit towards, if it works out for Los Angeles and New England their way. Some relief is nice, but I've never really understood the trade market in the NFL. I guess this actually matches up more with what I feel like players should be valued for. But NFL trades for years have just baffled me because there's, guys that I think are really good that are traded for a 4th rounder, or kind of just let go and given up for a 6th rounder or whatever. The value seems to have just caught up recently in the last couple of years. But once again, man, if this ends up being, a 20-something pick, for A.J. Brown, dude, that's a steal.
That's a pretty, yeah.
For Myles Garrett, and it's not 3 first rounders, it's a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if that first rounder ends up being a 20-something pick for the Rams that they have to give up, who effing cares? And yeah, it's relief for everyone right now, but a couple of years down the road, I think there will be obvious winners in each of these trades.
Yeah. So
and it's more likely than not going to be LA and New England, I do think.
Jared Verse is going to be a star in the NFL.
Well, of course.
And so I think if you're just losing a generational talent like Myles Garrett, because that's exactly what it is. We can act like he's not. But if you lose a generational talent like Myles Garrett, you're going to need to kind of revamp with something younger and newer, and it looks like they might have that in Jared Verse. So good little week to be Rams fans and Patriots fans. Shout out to my guy Jordan. So as far as Blazers fans are concerned, some of the hype is dying down. Let's go ahead and address some of the rumors that are starting to kind of dissipate as we get closer and closer to the offseason. We'll talk about that next. But first, Jordan has sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the New York Knicks taking a 2-0 series lead in the NBA Finals thanks to a Game 2 win over the Spurs in San Antonio last night, 105-104 the final. Karl Anthony Towns, a double-double with 21 points and 13 rebounds, hit a couple of threes in that as well. Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson each adding 20. Wemby a nice night with 29 as the series returns to San Antonio on Monday night for Game 3. Over to the Diamond, the Seattle Mariners actually in action already this morning, trying to rebound from a loss to the Detroit Tigers last night. Scoreless going into the top of the second so far. No hits on the board for either team. And over to golf, the Memorial Tournament happening right now. JT Potson atop the leaderboard at 9 under. He and Ryan Gerard, the second place golfer at 8 under, get going in a couple hours at 12:20. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson.
One of my favorite songs. I'll never get tired of this song. Ever. So I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver. You know, he was safe. Designated driver, take the keys to his truck. Now that Dundon has the keys to this Blazers castle, and he's, you know, he did his thing and he's cleared out some folks and fired a bunch of people and getting ready for the year. And it seems like he's doing it all in the name of making sure he can build a winner in Portland. And if you're looking what his hockey team is doing, they're in the Stanley Cup final. And so, hey, I say to steal a quote from the Philadelphia 76ers, trust the process for now.
Yeah, Game 3 tonight, by the way.
Game 3 is tonight?
Yeah, Hurricanes in Vegas against the Golden Knights. 5 p.m. puck drop.
It's 1-1, correct?
It is tied 1-1.
It's tied 1-1, yes. So
yeah, they won in overtime last night.
That first game was crazy.
Night, excuse me. Yeah, it was.
That first game was crazy. That, you know, down to the wire, pretty much somebody scored with like a minute and a half left in the third. So, yeah, that was a great game. Game 2 was just as good. So, yeah, hopefully Game 3 is the one that everybody watches. But there are some names that are attached to this Portland Trail Blazers franchise for the future. Not the names that we're used to hearing over the last little bit. I know it's been Giannis, right? Giannis to Portland. Now we're hearing this Giannis to Portland thing it's getting more complicated than anything because I've seen reports that they're going to want more than just some rotational players and a draft pick or two. They're probably going to want a starter, maybe even a couple of starters, and still a couple of draft picks. That might be a little much for the Blazers to give up. I don't think there's anybody in the starting lineup that I'm willing to part with. I'll be honest. Especially with Dame coming back. I don't think there's anybody in the starting lineup. Klingon took a step forward this year. I think he'll take a step forward next year. If he can find a way to stay on the floor, which I don't know if it's going to be just some conditioning for him and just, you know, whatever. If he can find a way to stay on the floor and stop fouling, that's a big feather in the cap for you right there. Denny Avdia, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but this isn't going to be like a Scoot Henderson, Jeremy Grant, and picks type of trade.
No.
You're going to have to include somebody of
they're going to want somebody that we love. It's going to be Tamani Kamara. It's going to be, seriously, it's going to be Drew Holiday, which I don't think it will.
I wouldn't be that mad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. I love both of those guys.
I would hate for it to be any one of those starters. I say you can have whatever's on the bench and all of these picks back, and we'll go from there. The Blazers don't have a pick in this year's draft at all. I think they have a second-round pick.
They have none.
No, they have no pick.
Nothing.
Yeah. Don't care. Don't really care. We're not getting AJ DeBanza, so don't really care.
Especially after the whole Young Haunton thing last year. Like I'm kind of mad at how Tom Dundon, how Joe Cronin is drafting right now.
And now you see Carter Bryant playing for an NBA championship or on a team for an NBA championship.
Lord.
He's not playing too much in the finals. But there's some names that have popped up that at first I was kind of like, no thanks. But then I was like, well, maybe. One of those names is Oklahoma City Thunder guard, Lou Dort. I think Lou Dort's 3-and-D game could be a great fit here in Portland. You know, he is a two-way guy. I think he's set to make $17 million next year, but I know
it's a deal in the NBA.
For sure. But I do know the Blazers have like an exception or something like that.
Yeah, they've got an exception or two.
Yeah, so that's good. You know, Dort is due to make $18.2 million next year in the team option. I don't think the Thunder are going to keep him. The bad part about Oklahoma City is the fact that they've got so much young talent, and they're going to continue to get a bunch of young talent, that you're not going to be able to keep them for much longer than their rookie deals. Once it comes to a point where you have to pay certain guys, then that's where the problem comes in. So the Thunder, I expect them to lose a couple people because now they have to make a decision this summer. Do they keep Hartenstein or do they keep Lou Dort? Right? Both of those guys are super, super important to your squad. So one of them have to be let go. And if one of them is, I think it would be Lou Dort. I think Lou Dort would be a guy that fits in really well with this Blazers squad. Another name that I'll be honest, I see it and I don't love it off top, but I also see how it could work. From the Philadelphia 76ers, Quentin Grimes.
Yeah.
Right? That what you just did, Jordan? That's exactly what I did too.
Doesn't ruffle my skirt.
It's like, I mean, some shooting, but the one thing the Blazers need is shooting.
I feel like they definitely do, but I feel like Quentin Grimes is the kind of player that the Blazers have acquired over the years, like this okay to good player that maybe Blazers fans will consider great, but not necessarily somebody that's going to move the needle on the national level or raise their level as a team overall in the Western Conference. But you're right. They need shooters, and at this point, I don't think beggars can be choosers about that.
No, they can't. And no, that doesn't get my nipples hard at all, thinking about Quentin Grimes coming to play in a Blazers jersey. Trey Murphy, excuse me.
I like Trey Murphy.
Is another name. It's like, yeah, he's a good player. Again, does that put you over the top? Does that make you able to compete with OKC, San Antonio, and I'm going to say Minnesota? I think those are the three teams that, as in the Western Conference, you really, really got to figure out if you're going to be able to compete with. So let's do a thing, Jordan.
Yep.
We're going to end the show here in a minute. We're going to take a look at the top or the NBA free agents for this summer. And we're just going to go through the list, and you say yes or no whether you think they would work here in Portland.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to leave out the obvious names, the LeBron James and the James Hardens of the world and everything, because I think we all know they've been in the league long enough to where they're not coming here for free agency, right? But some of the other guys on that list, we'll take a look at them, and you just tell me yes or no if you think they work out for the Trailblazers, right?
Okay.
We'll do that next, right here, Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Listen to that. That's the sound of a Portland winter. Not getting inside my house.
that it may not be in the best interest long-term for the organization. Shams Charania, ESPN NBA insider, put something out earlier this week talking about the fact that even if Giannis doesn't agree to sign an extension, Portland will be willing to give up multiple assets, including multiple starters for that. A lot of Blazers fans want to balk at that. I, on the other hand, do not. What matters to me after years of watching the Portland Trail Blazers kind of fledging along, getting a couple of really great young teams, the Damian Lillard, Robin Lopez, Wesley Matthews, Al-Farouq Aminu, stretch
Boo.
like Al-Farouq Aminu wasn't good,
Trash.
but he was okay, and that's kind of the problem is the Blazers have kind of been supported by just these okay characters, maybe good, kind of like we're talking with Quentin Grimes coming, but not somebody that really moves the needle overall in the Western Conference. And what this represents in the Blazers trade for Giannis is actually trying to go for it. And that's one thing that the Portland Trail Blazers since 2000 just haven't done. Since Bob Whitsitt left, they haven't really gone for it. They played with the assets that they had, maybe upgraded slightly, whatever reason you want to call it, like GMs being bad, owners being dumb, like should Paul Allen have fired Kevin Pritchard? Probably not, but they had a difference of opinion and their philosophies were not working, so that wasn't going to work long term. Rich Cho, not the right hire after that. Neil Olshey just started to yell at everybody and thought he was better than everybody else in the organization.
Stepped on my shoes.
Did he really?
I never told you that story?
No.
We were at the
Gotta hear this.
me and Swag and my guy Marcus Greaves, who out there in Atlanta. Shout out to my guy Marcus, man. We were at the Blazers facility getting ready for the Hoop Summit.
Yeah.
And I'm standing against the wall, and I don't know this guy, but some dude's talking to Lawrence Frank. And I'm standing there because I'm
Nets coach.
Yeah, so I'm standing, and who's a little guy.
He's
like
short
5'4". It was crazy. But I'm standing there, and it's a lot of people there. There are all these athletes and former players that are there and stuff like that. So it's a tight fit in the Blazers facility. I'm a big guy at this point. I'm trying to make myself as small as possible against the wall. I'm wearing these brand new Nike Cortezes that I just bought, maybe a day before.
Yeah, trying to look fresh. It's a Blazers
right?
PF. You can't show up in
I'm
rags.
looking good.
Man.
Got haircut. I'm looking good and everything. And I interviewed Isaiah Stewart that day, and I interviewed
Nice.
I can't remember who the other guy was. I want to say it was Kelton Johnson.
Okay.
I want to say it was him. But I'm standing there, and this guy keeps stepping on my shoes. And so I move a little bit because I don't, want the guy to keep stepping on my shoes and everything. That's, weird. And so I move, and he steps on them again. Like, as he's having this conversation, steps on my joints. I'm like, man, that's weird. Like, I kind of, move again. And, like, he almost like he's looking for my shoe as he can't see me. He's backing up, trying to find where my foot is and stepping on it. And I'm finally like, man, excuse me, sir. And he turns around and notices he has a Blazers, like, polo on. And he looks at me and kind of scoffs, like, psh. And looked at me, kind of looked me up and down, like, who the hell are you? And went back to his conversation. And I was like, you know what? Let me move before I say something to this person and look bad. Let me move. And I move, and I go tell Swag, I say, hey, man, that jackass over there was stepping all over my shoes. And I told him about it, and he just looked at me like I was crazy. And he goes, who, the GM, bro? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, that's Olshey. And I said, get the F out of here. There's no way that's Olshey. And from there, it's been beef.
Yep.
From that point forward, it's been beef.
Well,
so no, Olshey isn't the greatest dude, and he did mess up a lot of things. I think he did get credit for. Did he draft CJ? Who did he draft?
No. He drafted.
What's my man's name from Gonzaga? Zach Collins.
Zach Collins. Well, everybody, yeah. Well, he gave up on like 3 other options to basically draft the most expensive cheerleader in the NBA.
Didn't he
for his time in Portland.
Didn't he pass on Devin Booker?
Yeah.
That's who it was, man. So shout out to Neil Olshey, I guess, for putting the Blazers in this position.
So yeah, just all those reasons, Rashad, are why I want the Blazers to do whatever it takes to just go for it for once. Like Giannis, there are people saying he wants to be in the Eastern Conference only. I think Sam Amick of The Athletic. Well, yeah, because, I want to get to the championship that way. Dude, the Western Conference doesn't necessarily shake out the way that you think it's going to every year. The Spurs, really good, but everybody thought that the OKC Thunder were going to be the team this year. Like, it does happen where somebody comes out of the depths, and yes, everybody thinks the Spurs and Wemby are going to be good along with the Thunder. Those two kind of just punching each other at their top for the next 10 years.
I don't know if they will.
Why not come in and try to stir the pot? Like, Anything can happen, and you could go to an easy team in the East and get knocked out by, a really crappy Miami Heat team that goes on a run. Like, I don't understand why you just, competitors don't want to compete anymore, it seems like. Why you just want the easier way to a championship, especially if he hadn't won one yet, I would buy that storyline a little bit more. And on top of that, Rashad, screw where Giannis wants to go. The Portland Trailblazers own the most assets and the most valuable assets to Milwaukee in this situation.
Dame was saying, we were all convinced Dame wasn't going to play for anybody else but the Miami Heat.
Yep.
Nobody had the Milwaukee Bucks as the place that he would end up landing. So I don't care where you want to go. At the end of the day, like, as an organization, we don't have to do right by you. We send you where we want to send you based on what they're offering us.
How does it help them to send Giannis for less assets to somewhere where Giannis wants to be?
It doesn't.
That makes no sense.
Doesn't. I'm going to send you where they have the most assets, or if I'm working out a multiple team trade. And for right now, the Blazers do have a bunch of assets. So I know we have to get going. Let's do this. Let's skip over all the $20+ million guys that we know.
Oh, you want to go down lower tier to these free agents?
No, because let's be honest. The Blazers aren't going to be able to afford C.J. McCollum. They're not going to be able to afford Isaiah Hartenstein. They're not going to be able to afford Andrew Wiggins. They're not going to be able to afford Anthony Simons or Draymond Green or any one of these guys is making $20+ million. But I think somewhere in that 17 million, 18 million thing, I think you could pull off some guys. So tell me if these guys move the needle for you. Norman Powell.
No. Retread.
Harrison Barnes.
Playoff experience, veteran end of the bench piece, basically.
Yusuf Nurkic.
Not really. Another retread, I guess.
A lot of these guys are going to be retreads as I'm reading the list already.
To help
the next name, Zach Collins.
No, I mean, if you want to bring Nurkic back in because he's Dame's brother, sure. That's the only reason I'd do that. But no, it doesn't ruffle my skirt.
Bogdanovich.
Yes.
Okay, 17 a year. Rui Hachimura, absolutely for me.
Yeah, I think that's the power forward position or the four, whatever you want to call it now. I feel like it's been lacking for Portland in recent years, and Hachimura would definitely sew that up.
And Rui's 28, so he's in that age range. Lou Dort.
Yes.
Kevin Huerter. Yes. We need shooting.
We do need shooting. All right, you're right.
We need
you're
shooting.
Right. All right,
I'll take Kevin Huerter 1,000 times. I think he's going to get more than this. Austin Reeves. He's going to get more. He's $13 million a year.
He's going to get way more. And I don't think that he fits in with the current guard situation in Portland right now anyways.
Another guy who I think is going to get a big bag, too, Kobe White.
Yeah, he would fit, I think.
Matisse
but too expensive.
I say yes. That type of defense can't be taught. That type of defense can't be taught.
I get it, but if we're going to sign him, is he going to be available for 30 games or is he going to be available for 80 games?
I mean,
damn.
I think Thibault is the type of guy, if you offered him a year for $7 million, $10 million, he'd take it.
Well, because he hasn't been on the court. I'm not sure he has any other option to.
Gabe Vincent.
No.
Luke Kennard.
Gabe Vincent. No.
Max Keebler.
No. It's shooting, but no.
Mo Wagner.
No.
Quentin Grimes.
I guess because of the shooting, yeah.
Kelly Oubre.
Sure.
Kevon Looney.
I don't know how much like Robert. If Robert Williams comes back, you don't need Kevon Looney.
Yeah.
So.
Here's a name that I think would be a great person for the Trailblazers. Dean Wade.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a big Dean Wade fan. So, again, like as we start getting further and further down the list, there's a bunch of guys that, man, people, they're going to get, number one, a lot of money. Guys like Jalen Duren, who's going to get a whole lot of money, this offseason. Kevin Porter Jr.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, there are some guys that are available for $5, $6, $7 million that could really help change this Trailblazers outlook for next season.
Do they want to sign with Portland though? Because good luck getting free agents, man. It's the stupidest argument ever.
No, I mean it's true. Like it's unfortunate, but like I know Washington sucks as a basketball franchise, but as a city, it's still DC, right? It's still East Coast. I know Chicago is not where they want to be right now, but it's still Chicago. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
so I think
cold as ass in the winter,
but
though.
It's Chicago. It's the building. It's the history. It's Jordan. It's the playing the United Center.
Everyone talks about a rainy winter here like it's bad. It's like all these people go to snowy ass spots. Like I don't get that. And one of the things, hey, Damian Lillard said about living in Milwaukee sucked because it was so cold and he couldn't go do anything. So you're telling me that despite whatever's there, you can go do things like during that kind of cold? Like
you
no
can kick
way.
it still, because as long as it's cold, it still ain't raining. And rain, and I don't know how many black women you know. They don't function in the rain. They don't go out there. They're not messing up their hair. It takes way longer to fix. It's more expensive
That's
to fix.
fair.
So it's one of them things like, yeah, I can go out in cold as hell New York. I can bundle up in some cool. I love the winter. Why do I love the winter? I get to pull out all my R&B jackets. I got a long tan pea coat. I got a blue pea coat. I got three jackets with the kind of the sheepskin on the collar. Yeah, I pretty much got everything. I can't wait for winter so I can dress up in a turtleneck and a cool beanie and everything like that. Yeah, I could still look hella cool in the winter. Like here, you're wet all the time, super super wet because it's always raining and everything. And if I'm an NBA player and I'm from Memphis or I'm from wherever, like that's where I was born, and I come to Portland for one night and get off the plane and it's rainy as hell and there's no restaurant for me to go to and I got to order from a food cart and every girl has glasses and a ponytail, like, bro, what am I doing here? Why would I want to come there?
Well, let me kill the rain argument, too, because I just Googled it. AI says New York City receives more total rainfall by volume than Portland, 45 to 50 inches a year in New York, as opposed to 36 here.
This
is stupid.
It's New York. Like I'm saying, it matters where we are.
But they can't go out. You just said that they don't want to go out in the rain.
No, there's definitely more places to go out in the rain, though, if they wanted to go.
People talk themselves out of coming here, Rashad. That's my point.
They do.
And it's bullshit.
Until the NBA moves to a spring-summer sport, then that's just really how people are going to see Portland. So, man, Jordan's always fun, man. Schulte and Shot editions of Sports Saturday are always a good time, bro.
Yeah, I
appreciate you.
It's really fun having this with you, man.
Absolutely.
Love you all out there.
Man, and thank you all for listening to us today, man. It's been a gas, man. Joe should be back next week unless he has another amazing weekend. That's usually how it goes for him, so we will see. So, again, for my guy Jordan Schultz, I'm Rashad Taylor. I'm going to holler at y'all. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Save thousands. Be advised.